Hello, everyone. We are here. Welcome. It is Thursday night. It is time for revolutionary change. I'm Jen Perelman.
I'm Peter Hager. And are you feeling better now?
Am I feeling better?
You feeling cooler now?
Was I not cool before? I feel like I've always been cool.
You were okay.
I feel like I've always been cool.
Oh, your mom and dad said you were cool, so that counts.
Well, somebody has to like me.
Some people do. Some people do. And no, for the last time, guys, I'm not Steve Buscemi, and I'm not related to him either, at least not as far as I know. I know I have a tendency now to get a lot of interesting questions in the chats, but the one I want to clarify is that I am not Steve Buscemi, and I'm not Christopher Walken either. I don't know why people think I'm Christopher Walken. That's different.
It is. It's kind of interesting because I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I guess I could sort of see it, but I don't think I would have ever thought that the two of them looked so similar.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Before I would come on and people would ask me, do you know Christopher Walken personally? I'd tell them, no, how could I? But then I realized, I looked in the mirror a time or two, and then I realized, oh, yeah, there he is. He's been there the whole time. So enjoy him while he's here.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done. But is the United States done trying to steal the oil in Venezuela, Jim?
No. What's ours is ours. What's theirs is ours. What's everybody's is ours.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that there gets to a point where how much do they actually think they're going to be able to get away with it, continue to get away with it, and then the American people just stop giving in. They stop allowing this to happen. When do we, I don't want to necessarily say storm the gates, but we have reached a point as an empire where the propaganda just doesn't work at all anymore. And I'm going to obviously get to Erica Kirk on Saturday. But when it comes to actual policy, for example, Venezuela, which is something that we have been saber rattling for the better part of, well, how long would you say? I mean, it's obviously at least a decade since they tried to get Guaido in back in 2016, 2017.
It's been since, I mean, that happened, yes, but it was really as soon as Chavez got in, and that was like early 2000s. And they tried it with him, but ever since it's been Maduro, they've tried, 30 years. They've tried, I forget how many times. It's like 12 times, 15 times, like a whole bunch of times to have already done a regime change here. And it just doesn't work. And I don't even think they know or care whether it will work. I really don't. I think they just like doing what they're doing. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. It's all profitable.
Until we actually collectively step up and say we've had enough of this. I think you're right. I think that this is going to continue as it stands.
We are a rogue, lawless nation that is just all over the world doing whatever we want. And until a greater force stops this rogue, lawless nation, we're going to continue to be that. Now, I would suggest here that nobody should pay taxes in 26. Nobody should turn in their taxes in 26.
So
and again, I know that tax dollars don't fund spending. I know that. I'm not saying, oh, well, they won't be able to do anything. But that's a statement.
Yeah. Well, like I said, next Thursday when we have on Clint Russell and the redheaded libertarian Josie, I'm sure they're going to love hearing that. Like I said, collaborations make strange bedfellows sometimes. But if there's one thing that cannot be argued at this point, we have been run, the nation as a whole has been run by a collection of mad thieves, madmen, if you will, for a very long time. But now they're just not even attempting to shield their depravity, their barbarism. And whether it's because we're losing control in the Eastern Hemisphere, and now it's a question of how do we secure all the resources in the Western Hemisphere, I think that's a huge part of this. as much as it pains me to say this, shame on General Wesley Clark for suggesting that this was a good move. I don't know what would possess you to say such a thing. But
wait, when did he say that?
Earlier today.
So you know what this is really all about, though. I mean, you're right in terms of like the hemisphere thing, but all roads lead to where?
China.
Say
China,
it better.
China,
Exactly.
It's about China.
It's
Well,
about China.
This is piracy captured on film. And it almost seems like they're filming themselves.
Well, so whoever is filming them is allowed to be filming them, so it has to kind of be themselves, or they wouldn't be allowed within the perimeter of this. You wouldn't be allowed to be filming this if you weren't with them.
Well, you know what's amazing, though? I highly doubt that there are any armed individuals on that tanker.
No.
Maybe a few security guards, if that.
Yeah. So for people who are listening, we are watching clearly our own military or contractor grade video of our military intercepting and commandeering a Venezuelan oil tanker that was on its way to Cuba. So in other words, it had nothing to do with us or was anywhere in the periphery of us.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Like this is some crazy stuff. This is very interesting. But this is the kind of stuff where China and Russia are going to start to like, I think, get involved in this.
So here is the major turn of events that happened earlier today. There are 2 nuclear subs from Russia that are now approaching Venezuela. So let's see how far they really want to take this.
I'm telling you, China and Russia are not, because it's one thing when we're doing stuff that isn't interfering with their trade and their stuff. This interferes with them.
Yeah, it does.
Well, they're not going to have that.
Well, and this is the thing. China is not the China of, this is not communist China of Mao Zedong.
Nope.
This is not what you think it is. This is a country that has just as much economic firepower as we do.
More.
And
China has been the leading economy in the world since 2016 in terms of the numbers. I don't know if they go by, it might be GDP, but China has been ahead of us since 2016 economically.
I have no doubt. And at the same time, I thought to myself, how many ridiculous, because remember, no one, and I mean no one, is actually opposing the Trump administration and what they are doing with Venezuela right now. The State Department, the nation as a whole, they are fully on board with this. And I heard some ridiculous takes, justifications, if you will. But I would say of the most lunacy-laden commentary, you would have to go with CNN, because why the hell not?
Anchor, how could this escalate the conflict with Venezuela?
Well, we've had sanctions on Venezuelan oil since the first Trump administration. And
Biden kept them.
Kept them.
Yeah.
So to me, this is absolutely normal. I mean,
seizing an oil tanker?
Yeah. We've been.
Yeah. I love it. This is the beauty of the Trump age. These people don't even pretend anymore.
This is normal. Even Jake Tapeworm says it's normal to steal a oil tanker.
It is now.
Totally normal.
There's no rule of law anymore whatsoever. So why wouldn't this be normal?
Well, just as you said, what if the rule of law no longer exists? If there is no belief in the current system as it is currently constructed, why should we pay federal taxes?
That's what I'm saying. And again, we know that we don't actually think that they sit there and use our tax money to pay for shit. But yeah, I mean, right now we are in a prime example of taxation without representation. We know that the majority of people are against this shit. We know that. I don't need polls. We don't need we know that, and yet they keep doing it. So, and yet we all just sit here and just keep cooperating.
Well, they do it so brazenly. The question is, are we going to get to a point where we say, how many different ways can we be poked in the eye before we say enough is enough?
I am hopeful that China is going to save us at some point from ourselves.
From ourselves, exactly.
Seizing Iranian oil tankers in the past, we also, according to the law that I've read, that oil is up for forfeiture. So we could keep that. We've kept Iranian oil in the past.
Really? Because they just wanted to give it to us, right? Is that what you're implying? Because that's how they're so flippantly talking about billions upon billions of dollars in resources and thinking, oh, yeah, that's ours now. That's piracy.
And as if the whole world hasn't been watching over decades. Just because we don't hear about these things here doesn't mean that the whole world doesn't hear about it. So Maduro has been wanting to and trying to work with our country for years, making lots of different offers and lots of different accommodations and really just wanting to get along. So that's what I've been watching.
It's one thing if you have to create a boogeyman for the purpose of still spending ungodly amounts of money on foreign policy, on defense. I don't understand what the purpose of this is. If Maduro was willing to trade oil with us, why wouldn't we just do that? Why do we feel the need to go in and take over that country? And
you know the answer, though, right?
Because why pay this much when you only have to pay that much?
Why pay anything when you can take it for free?
I mean, we're run by psychopathic maniacs.
Oh, yeah. We're so far outside of the realm of law and what that would even look like to live in a civil society, that's why when people claim to care about things like civility and decorum, it's laughable to me.
Yeah.
We're so far past that at this point. So far past that.
And on top of everything else, if you just, you've said that when you think about the people that are running this country, when you just look at the clip we did the other day regarding Thomas Massie and Kash Patel, the idea that Kash Patel is running the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is not a game, but they treat it like it is.
I don't think he's really running anything. Let's be real. He's not running anything. And
it's almost like, what? It's like they turned the keys over to Palantir, and now Palantir just runs everything.
Well, Kash Patel's certainly not doing anything. So,
but if you see spaced out, drugged out Alex Karp lately, it wouldn't surprise you at all. That guy's.
Well, I think Kash Patel always looks like he's strung out too.
Oh yeah. Well, again, like you said, there's a lot of clandestine blackmail, all different types of nonsense that's been going on. Even the mere suggestion that Patel is compromised in a honeypot situation causes him to throw lawsuits at people. So that definitely doesn't make him look guilty. And our country looks completely innocent conducting business the way that we are. But this nincompoop has a few more things to say.
So I actually think that this is less controversial in terms of law and sanctions and what has been,
That's because we don't have any laws. So
let her talk for a bit. Let's just let
it or not disputed. I think this is actually a pretty, check the box case. Mm-hmm. Now, what will this mean in terms of escalation? What is he going to do? What is Maduro going to do? Is he going to step aside because we're sanctioning this oil? I mean, we pick up this oil tanker. It's one oil tanker, probably not.
And it's unlikely.
So essentially, the strategy that they're speaking of is that our country has taken Venezuela's oil tanker in an effort to persuade or force or bully Maduro to step aside and let the opposition take over, as if that's going to do it. It's amazing. I see, which is what brings me back to, I don't think they care if they get anywhere or they achieve any of their strategic goals, because in reality, we have not achieved a single, I think, military goal, strategic goal since World War II. I don't think we have. Like, to me, it just looks like one disaster after another, and we never win.
No,
We
I
just
would
make things
say
worse and people make a lot of money.
no, I would say that we accomplished, if you want to even call it that, what was set out to be done during Desert Storm, which was to get Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait. But again,
All right.
you're talking what you're talking the Iraqi military versus the U.S. military. Let's see how tough we really are when we go up against a military that actually is comparable to our own. And if you put Russia and China together, then you've really got a problem.
You have a problem with either one of them. Either one of those militaries is better prepared than ours. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Our military is understaffed, under-enlisted, under all of it. The recruitment numbers are down, and we are just not in a capable situation for the 800 plus locations we're in around the world. We are improperly staffed, and we are incapable of launching the things that we aspire to do. We're just not capable. And both China and Russia are capable.
Yes.
So yeah, when it comes to being able to blow shit up and drop bombs and drone people, yes, we can do that. When it comes to actual boots on the ground, we don't come close to either of those countries.
No. And I believe that this is only going to lead to much worse problems because, like you said, the entire world is in the process of doing two things. The first is the world over is rejecting the state of Israel. But what the average American doesn't seem to understand is that because of the behavior, not just of this administration, although it's just so overt that you can't look away, we're in a situation where the world is starting to reject the United States.
Here's hoping.
So
yeah, my question to them is what the fuck took y'all so long?
Yeah. Well, there's many reasons for that, but
no, I mean, because they've been having our boot on their neck. And now, right now, what's happening is we're spread so thin that the weight of our boot is not as heavy as it used to be. And people are starting to be able to get out from under us. That's where we're at.
That's it. All you have to know, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of the bullshit that is fed to us regarding our foreign policy, is that the United States has, on paper, over 800 military bases all over the world. Imagine how many we have in the Caribbean, and we feel the need to do this type of nonsense. China, my understanding is that they have somewhere between 12 and 15 military bases around the world, and Russia, I believe, has 6. So you tell me where the logic is. And if we were truly concerned about our hegemony, but also not running roughshod over the rest of the world, wouldn't 100 military bases get the job done? Why do we need 800 military bases? We don't.
Why would anybody need more than one nuclear weapon? And yet we sit there and want to keep building that supply up. Yeah. So this is a man problem.
Oh, shut up.
No, it is. My dick is bigger than your dick. I have this many weapons. You have this many weapons. It's just.
And usually men that think like that are the ones with the smallest dicks.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
There is
but
that.
Let's not forget that, like I said, and this is, again, not getting much heralded attention, which is going to end up becoming the biggest story of them all once it becomes more prominent. Russia has already sent 2 nuclear subs to Venezuela. This is not a game.
Nope.
And I'm getting really sick and tired of people thinking that we can just waltz around this and play war games. This is not a game. It's just not. And I worry because in our country, it's great that our channel has gotten where it has gotten to. We are obviously extremely gratified. At the same time, we know that it could basically be taken away at any moment.
Oh,
we are, we didn't even have an opportunity between our last show and today to let everyone know that we passed 95,000 subscribers to our channel because we're about to pass 96,000 subscribers, which is obviously incredible. But at the same time, censorship knows no bounds.
No,
And
they keep buying every platform and they can just shut it all down whenever they want to.
that's the thing. That's the thing that we all have to remember, is that I hope that we will be fortunate enough to continue to get our message out there. Now, of course, we are in no way, shape, or form a threat like some others with larger platforms are. However, here's an interesting clip that I came across the other day through Instagram that apparently was played one time, and I mean one time only, on Saturday Night Live all the way back in 1998. Now, if you guys remember, there were three great runs on Saturday Night Live. There was the original run from basically 1975 to 1978. There was the late 80s, early 90s run led by Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, and the like. And then there was the late 90s, early 2000s run led by Will Ferrell and I would say probably Cherry O'Terry, but you know what I mean.
What's with the Saturday Night Live recap? Where are you going with all this?
They used to do really good stuff. They haven't done good stuff in forever.
Years. Yeah.
So they used to do in the late 90s a segment called Saturday TV Funhouse. And they would do these segments with very funny yet important information would be disclosed regarding a specific topic. And so here's some very interesting information that I was not aware of that was played almost 30 years ago.
Media of the lead, a media of the
Oh, I remember this.
The whole media is controlled by a few corporations thanks to deregulation by the FCC.
Now keep in mind,
It's almost like a Schoolhouse Rock.
yeah. Now, keep in mind, this came out just a year or two after I decided to pass the Telecom Act of 1996. So just remember that this is in direct relation to what I decided to do.
Disney, Fox, Westinghouse, and good old GE.
They own networks from CBS to CNBC.
They can use them to say whatever they please and put down the opinions of anyone who disagrees.
Or stuff about PCBs.
What are PCBs?
They come from electric power plants built by Westinghouse and GE.
They can give you lots of cancer that can hurt your body.
But on network TV, you rarely hear anything bad about the nuclear industry.
Like when Westinghouse was sued for fraud.
Which time?
When GE made defective bolts, it was an unreported crime. Or when it was boycotted for operating nuclear bomb plants just to squeeze a dime.
That's a footnote, by the way.
A footnote protects you from folks who doubt what you say. Now maybe the voices in my head will go away.
But the big shots don't care. They're all sitting pretty thanks to corporate welfare.
What's that now?
They get billions in subsidies from the government.
This is 1998. Billion with a B in subsidies from the government.
I remember seeing this video, or this cartoon thing, but I never watched SNL in that time frame. So I don't know where I saw this then.
Perhaps you saw it on Instagram like I did.
Maybe, but I've seen it before.
Yeah, but it's not a surprise that they aired it once and then you never saw it again. So what probably happened was that this particular episode, whichever one it was back in 98, they aired it at that time. And anytime there's been a rerun of that particular episode, or if it's on Comedy Central, they never air this part of the telecast.
Really? I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So that's not surprising.
So
But
everybody out there, you know what you have to do. You need to share this.
share this. Look, yes, share it far and wide. People want to know why we're being silenced. This is a great example of that.
Supposed to create jobs, but that's not how it's spent. They use tax and soft money to support congressmen who will vote for weapons programs again and again and let them dump toxic waste where the young ones play.
ING made the bullets that shot JFK.
You contribute to this chain every time you buy a product sponsored on this show.
That's what NBC doesn't want you to know. Till the next time. Please stand by. Please stand by. It means there's technical difficulty. Supposedly, so if you see a please stand by, you know it's all part of these big lies.
Why did you ignore McDonald's away?
Cause he made too many jokes about OJ.
Was Lord Michaels overruled?
Now don't
great. That's great.
The ambiguous
Media.
gay duo. I mean, that was the funniest part. But they really did some really funny clips back in the day. But that tells you right there, ladies and gentlemen, what the main problem is. And Genesis says it, deregulation. I deregulated the shit out of the entire media ecosystem.
No, we know that when we go back to really look at the beginning of this neoliberal takeover of the economy, this implosion, it really did start. We've discussed it several times on the show, and it goes back to Carter. And it goes back to Carter, and then what then led right into Reaganomics. And it was, again, it's nonpartisan. And that's where we're at. So, yeah, it started Carter-ish.
Well, yes, but I still maintain that I did the most destructive policy in the entire neoliberal era. I definitely.
Well, you know what they did. The Clintons basically made neoliberalism seem cool.
Of course.
That was what Bill Clinton's whole purpose was to make that seem cool and to sort of make that privatized, profitized idea part of the Democratic platform. He's the one who brought that over to the Democratic platform to the level that it is now.
It's just be thankful that my wife didn't get elected president, because Lord knows how much worse she would have made it. But nothing can compare. Again, he did 5 policies, 5 during his presidency that absolutely wrecked this country.
5 things that have
today.
Yeah, that are problems that we're dealing with right now.
Correct. NAFTA, normal trade relations with China, the crime bill, the Telecom Act of 96, which is what that advertisement was just about. And of course, the worst one of all, the repeal of Glass-Steagall. And he did this all in his presidency.
Oh, yeah.
Half of it was in his first term. And his again, don't ever, and this is the other thing, this whole idea that the Democrats just got worse, and the Democrats were done when JFK was assassinated. It was just a period of when they were eventually going to be completely done. But what ended up happening is that when you think about 2 of the most consequential policies during Clinton's first term, when the Democrats had the supermajority in a filibuster-proof Senate, they passed NAFTA. And they passed the crime bill with a Democratic supermajority. So I don't want to hear a damn thing about how if only the Republicans weren't in power, and they're still selling this shit right now.
People are still buying it.
Yeah, they're still buying it. But we can't wait until the midterms next year.
Right.
We're going to get the Democrats back in power. Blue team go.
Right. And here's the thing. I don't think that we're going to see anything of the sort. I mean, even if the Democrats win seats, it's not like that's going to do anything for anybody. That's not going to change anything for anybody. Again, we have seen in recent history where we've had that majority and it has done absolutely nothing. So exactly. So clearly the answer does not lie with the election system.
And you want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to know why it doesn't matter? Do you want to know why it doesn't matter? We're going to show you why it doesn't matter.
What are we showing?
Oh, take a wild guess. It is the holiday season, and it's very bipartisan time of year. So let's light the menorah.
Oh, my goodness. Look, it's AIPAC Shakur right there. I love that, by the way. Whoever coined calling Hakeem AIPAC Shakur, it's really good. The only thing is that it's a little bit kind of negative as far as what it means to Tupac, right? Like it's sort of using him a little, but yeah, AIPAC Shakur.
Can I also say, it's mute. I saw Alex put puking, and I'm like, Puke Johnson. So Mike Johnson, he puts that tiny hat on his head. He looks like such a fool. He doesn't even put it on right. I don't know who the hell's like fitting it on him.
Whoever his assistant person is just stuck it on his head.
Oh, Maron. Okay,
Schumer looks nothing like my father.
Well, maybe not.
No. This is where you should say no. He does not.
Okay, no.
Oh, look at Hakeem's got a yarmulke on too. How nice. They look so ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Schumer had a hard 3:30 on the Senate side, but Leader Jeffries is here with us. And what I do want to say is one thing. I don't get involved in their opinions on political issues. That's not.
Just not
The
in
hell
public.
you don't.
Just not in public. Behind the scenes, that's another story. But in public, we don't get involved, Jen. We have nothing to do with this in public.
Yeah. You know what? People, until they start taxing the religious organizations,
Please.
no one should pay taxes here.
Guys,
no one should pay taxes. If they are not taxing these guys when they're this entwined, if you don't discuss political matters with them, then what the fuck are you doing there? Those are just your friends. You hang out socially with Hakeem and Mike Johnson. No, it's only political, or you wouldn't even be with them. That's the whole, that's what's so insulting about that. Well, we don't talk about political things. Then why in the fuck are you even involved with them?
If you do not believe in the separation of church and state, then you do not believe in the Constitution. I believe in the separation of church and state, and this is not the separation. And I don't want to hear nothing about how, well, this is not a church, this is a synagogue. It's the same thing.
It's all the same shit.
Same shit.
My role. But one thing I will say is the two gentlemen to my left are strong and perhaps the best friends of Israel and the Jewish people either side of the aisle has ever seen.
I just want you to look at these two. And I want you to tell me why anyone should be, you know what, Jen, if we just got AIPAC Shakur as the
Speaker of the House.
That's
right.
going to solve it all. That'll solve it.
Right. If only those two were switched and the blue team was in charge, then Hakeem would be standing and Mike Johnson would be sitting, and then everything would be better. That's basically that would be the difference.
How the hell this doesn't get turned into a meme, I don't know. But
I cannot. What the cuckedness of these two men is like off the chart. The only thing missing is like a dog collar and a ball gag from these two men's mouths.
Who's to say that they don't? Hey, listen,
I don't know, but that's what this looks like to
there's
me.
A lot, listen, it's just a rumor. I totally can't prove it, but there's a lot of. I've heard things. As Bob the News, I heard things. I heard things about Mike Johnson. Things going around. That's what I'm saying.
So I'd like to have a round of applause for them there. And one more sentence. I do want to say, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a registered independent, but I do want to say, as a Jewish American or an American Jew, however you phrase it, that I go to sleep easier at night knowing that at the helm of our nation and this institution of Congress are people who recognize the value we give this nation. So
I can only say in response to that statement that if this man is going to sleep soundly at night, then there are a lot of people around the world who are not going to sleep soundly at night.
Yeah, but they don't
I think
care.
that's important to remember. And thanks, Mr. Speaker, despite all the difficulty, for making it here today.
Sure.
He looks like
thank you,
he's
Rabbi,
12.
and I apologize for my being a little tardy. I was whipping votes in the back room. We got it done, and I'm really grateful. This is the third annual Congressional Menorah Lighting, as so many of you know, and I just want to express my sincere thanks, Rabbi Shem.
Did I hear that correctly? Third? This is only 3 times that this has ever happened. I wonder what's changed since 2023.
They thought.
I wonder what changed.
Oh my God. So
I've
they
always-
only started doing this after October 7th. And the idea is, how many of these cucks can we parade on camera with yarmulkes on their head? That was the question. And they're going to find out. This is how they're going to do it.
For however long it can last.
speaks from the heart and has such conviction, and it's contagious. And of course, Leader Schumer, who is here, and Leader Jeffries, who is my good friend and my colleague, and we do.
My good friend and my colleague.
There's, they love each other.
Don't you get it yet? I want to know who's still hanging on.
I'll tell you who's still hanging on. The libs, the Dems, the normies, they're still hanging on. They still actually believe there's a difference.
That's what I keep telling. Do you really think that Mike Johnson and Hakeem Jeffries are not chums? Of course they are.
They don't
1,000%.
Right.
We share this in common, that we support Israel, obviously, and the Jewish people. And all of our many colleagues and friends who joined us here for this meaningful occasion. Two of my favorite colleagues down here who have joined us and proudly represent Jewish people in Congress, Mr. Goldman and Mr. Fine.
So
swine is in the room, apparently.
So swine is in the room, and the person that Brad Lander, who has been endorsed by Zoran, is running against, is also getting kudos from Mike Johnson. So trust me when I say there's not a lot of political races that one should give two shits about, but having Brad Lander unseat Dan Goldman
would be satisfying.
That'll be satisfying.
Yeah.
And they're extraordinary leaders and do a great job for everybody. This is a special time of year, and we like to do this. We enjoy this because we gather here in the People's House to celebrate our fellow Americans of all faiths. And this is an important one. The festival of Hanukkah at its heart is a celebration, of course, of courage, of the Jewish people's steadfast defense of their faith over centuries of persecution. And we don't ever forget that. It's more than 2,000 years ago in the ancient land of Israel, the Jewish people were denied the most basic freedom to pray and to express.
There is no such thing as an ancient land of Israel. That does not exist. That never existed. Israel only existed in 1948. So I think that's very interesting that he just said the ancient land of Israel. There is no ancient land of Israel.
Well, the entire ideology is a lie. So why not just listen, if you're going to tell one lie, why not tell as many as you can get away with? That's pretty much how they look at it. Create your entire existence.
Their faith in the holiest of places. And it was then that a fearless patriot known as Judah Maccabee led a small band of brothers to reclaim the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. When the temple was restored, the menorah's oil that should have lasted only one day burned instead for 8 miraculous days. I'm telling you this story as if Rabbi Shemtov didn't cover it already. But for those who are tuning in late, okay, this is the history. It's during Hanukkah that the Jewish people celebrate and commemorate this miracle by lighting the menorah each year. Today, that same light will shine here in the People's House, and that's what is important. It shines as a symbol of the resilience and the perseverance, the eternal hope of the Jewish people. I don't know if it was explained, the significance of this particular menorah. Did you? Well, it was a gift to us, and it is made of the steel that came off of the bombs that were shot down over Israel, the missiles that the Iron Dome was taken down. So it's particularly meaningful and a poignant reminder of just what we're talking about, the perseverance of the Jewish people over all these years.
Ugh.
Think you got a hot
the way that they so institutionally conflate the history of Jewish people globally with Israel and the creation of the state of Israel is just so constant. It never stops. The thousands-year-old, centuries-old persecution of Jews around the world has absolutely nothing to do with the state, the current Zio state. So it's just, and they will not stop conflating that as if somehow they're still going for that sympathy vote. Like if you just feel sorry enough and about the safety of the Jews and you just worry enough about the Jews, then you'll just forgive the Zio state everything it's doing. It's not working.
No, it is definitely not working. And that's why this entire display looks absolutely pathetic in every conceivable way. There is no person that isn't just completely in the tank for decorum politics, is of a certain class and makeup, or is of the Zio, doesn't even have to be the billionaire class, but obviously we know that an overwhelming portion of the billionaire class are Zios. Those are the only people that truly like this stuff. But the thing you also have to remember is that the more we have this concentration of wealth into the hands of so few, those people that control the money supply, particularly when it comes to political donations, whether high or low, and everything in between, are coming from people that actually like this shit. Like, to them, this type of stuff gets the juices flowing down below that rarely ever happens, because most of them are geriatric at this point in many respects.
But that's exactly the thing. Most people, this is not what most people, their audience is very small, and it's getting smaller by the day.
It doesn't matter how small it is. It matters that they control the levers of power and they have the money.
For now.
the time being, that is what they have. It doesn't mean it will last. Everything seems impossible until it's not, until it becomes possible. That's the reason why they have to make such a grand display of all of this. I was not aware that this was something new. This is the third annual bipartisan get-together of the lighting of the menorah after all these years.
Third, right. So
Third.
literally it started after, right. So they just started this.
You want to talk about pomp and circumstance? That's what that is. And to the people on Capitol Hill, that is something that is very important. But to the people that have to live in this country and live amongst these people, no, it actually is a sign of the disintegration of the system. We are watching it in real time. We also know that they are deeply concerned about how much of a control over all of us that they still have. And that is why they have to reduce themselves to having their bigwigs now. Even the bigwigs, not the, I mean, you've got Jonathan Greenblatt. You have these people that go on TV that say the things that they need to say. But what I find interesting is that for those of you who don't know, and I know I've covered him once before, and I'm going to mention him now, but I don't think I mentioned who he was the last time that we were covering this particular story. So Ron Lauder is somebody who I had covered once before, is the president of the World Jewish Congress. What you may not know is that he's actually the son of Estee Lauder. So he is a billionaire Nepo baby. So it should come as no surprise, as Jen and I have pointed out a time or two, that AIPAC is a huge problem, but they're not the only problem.
No.
There are dozens of these pro-Israel NGOs, and one of the most powerful leaders of these NGOs is Ron Lauder, the president of the World Jewish Congress. And you want to talk about somebody who has a lot of power and a lot of influence? This man has it. And he has a few things to say about what needs to happen to protect the state of Israel.
Single foreign policy issue, Israel. And yes, we've seen this anti-Semitism before. In the late 1930s, when Hitler was rising in Germany, there was a huge effort by the Nazis to unite anti-Semitism in America. The anti-Jewish radio preacher, Father Conklin. Father Conklin was the Tucker Carlson of the 1930s.
Oh, so Tucker Carlson now is that problem. Tucker Carlson is the person who is causing such a rift and is the one who's causing violence.
Well, he's such a raging anti-Semite.
He's an anti-dentite. It's the same old talking points. And I believe Ron Lauder, I can check real quick. Ron Lauder is 81 years old. He is worth $5 billion with a B. This jackoff, Nepo baby, heir to the Estee Lauder fortune.
Do you see what it says?
Also one of the architects of 9/11. I'm not surprised. Probably very good friends with Larry Silverstein.
Had 30 million weekly listeners. That's equivalent to 100 million today. Henry Ford spread his hatred through newspapers and massive amounts of money. In 1938, Hitler unleashed Kristallnacht. And one night, Germany went from anti-Jewish laws to murder. Hitler wanted to see the world's reaction. And when he saw there was almost none, he told his advisors 4 days later, now we can do whatever we want with the Jews.
Does this maudlin shit work on anybody?
Yes, the people in that room, in a very small echo chamber of people. Unfortunately, it's a lot of the people that have power and money. But it doesn't work on the general population, and it sure as shit is not working globally.
So he makes a statement that has been told 1,000 times over and has been especially pointed since October 7th. This person's a Nazi. This person sounds like Goebbels. And on we go. Well, guess what? He's got a few suggestions as to how we must deal with this problem, Jen.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
These are our friends, and we are forever grateful. Today, we're in the fight of our lives, and this is how we will fight back. First, we must use social media because that's what young people follow.
We got to get the youngsters. We got to get them on board with our hate.
So buy TikTok and shut people down like our friend James Lee, completely take away his ability to make a living there. And yeah, why do we need truth tellers? No, we need you to tell our truth. Because remember that overwoke shit from a few years back? I need to tell my truth. No, there is the truth.
Remember that? Do you remember
there
that?
There is no my truth. There is the truth. And this person is acting like an overwoke moron saying, we have to tell our truth. Our truth is the Jewish people are special and
we're
better than
victims.
everybody else. And if we have to kill you to make a point that we are, then that is acceptable discourse. Yes, he's nuts. But that doesn't mean his reign of terror is going to last much longer.
No, look at him. He's barely standing.
He can kill at any minute.
Exactly.
A guy like that kill at any minute.
And I must tell them that you must tell them the truth. Israel must finally get serious about public relations. If Israel can tell its amazing story to the world, then its enemies will, and they've done it now.
That's what's so amazing. Like, they need to get better at public relations. That's all they are. They're an entire fake nation built on nothing but public relations. So that's what's so fascinating. The fact that it doesn't work anymore doesn't mean that it's because they're not better at it.
Yeah, for real. And Piano Man is absolutely correct. So, guys, if anybody still shops at Estee Lauder, like, stop shopping there.
It isn't about shopping at Estee Lauder, Peter. Estee Lauder owns so many brands that people don't even realize it. So it's kind of like Johnson & Johnson or one of those at this point. So many people are wearing what is owned by Estee Lauder, even though they're not wearing Estee Lauder. I'm just saying, it's like that's
fair.
It's bigger than that at this point.
It is.
We must expose every renegade teacher and their unions. We must expect moral courage from our political officials, not excuses. We must rebuild education around truth, not slogans and lies.
I can't agree more.
We will have to reinvent how we teach the history of the Jewish people because it's not working. Too many young people have never heard of the Holocaust. The World Jewish Congress has produced some excellent films that explain what happened. We want to show them in classrooms everywhere in the United States.
So
nobody wants to see it.
So now effectively what you're looking at is another incarnation of PragerU. That's what this nut job is preaching. We have to educate people about what we want them to know and understand. This is part of the reason, I mean, it's not the only reason why public education is dead, but it's got a lot to do with it.
But it's what they've already been doing. Like him standing there and saying that as if that's what they need to do from this point on, as if that propaganda and brainwashing hasn't been being done. The difference is there's too many avenues and they're not able to plug all the holes anymore. So when you had network television and print media, you were able to control the holes a lot better. They can't control the holes. And
No.
that's the problem for them. And so they really don't know what to do. It isn't that their narrative necessarily was so convincing before, as much as people didn't have any alternatives.
Yeah.
And
And
now
this-
there's so many alternatives.
Well, like I said, this is also why a lot of people need to be aware at all times how this is affecting you directly. Like, how does this actually affect the average person in the average community? I would imagine that for the 550 people that are watching, a lot of you are from a lot of different states, a lot of different parts of the country. I believe it is important that we all know exactly where our money is being spent at the state level.
Bring me all your money, is that all you got?
Now, keep that in mind right there. State employee pension funds used to buy high-risk
Yes.
bonds.
Yes. And that's so many states.
Ron Lauder made a statement when he was talking just now about controlling the unions. Remember, a substantial portion of the billionaire Zio class, they're all Democrats. That's the dirty little secret that very few people want to talk about. So when they're basically redirecting the state pension funds, this is what's happening to your money.
Bring me all your money, give it to me right now.
Florida's the most.
First of all, Arkansas, which is in the bottom 3 poorest states in the country, along with Mississippi and West Virginia, gives 57 million in bonds to Israel. That's a lot of money.
Florida is the worst. I knew it was.
200 million.
And out in Florida, Palm Beach County is the highest.
Yes, Palm Beach County is the highest county in the country for
Yes.
single donations for local and state funds that go directly to Israel. Yes.
Correct.
Bring me all your money, is that all you got?
Seattle with 100.
Bring me all your money, have a place to keep it.
That's not surprising.
No.
In fact, I'm actually surprised it's that much. I figured it might have even been more than that.
No, I thought Florida had more.
It's actually not that.
Bring me all your money, is that all you got?
County employee pension funds used by high-risk Israel.
Yeah.
Bring me all your money, give it to
Broward.
me right now.
So that's where Jen is, $5 million.
Broward. Yeah.
So is that the county commission that does that?
yes.
Okay. So the county commission of Broward County, led by some of the biggest sleaze bags,
They're all
supporters-
Zios. They're all
Yeah.
Zios.
all supporting Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah.
$5 million. $5 million could actually go a long way at the county level, believe it or not. Be very helpful. Maybe we'll build another park, Jen, for $1.5 million. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All your money,
I
give
hear
it to
you.
me right now.
That.
Holy, okay, all right. That's not a misprint. That's not a misprint.
That. So, in other words, Palm Beach invests more in Israel than the entire state of Florida does
Yeah.
by
who-
3 times.
Listen, have you seen the people who live around me in Palm Beach? They're really terrible people. That's incredible. But
Yeah.
remember, guys, what is the common theme in Palm Beach County? You have Boca Raton and you have Palm Beach. And then you have a whole bunch of other wealthy communities scattered throughout. Palm Beach Gardens, Wellington, Jupiter. You've got different parts of Lake Worth that have
Meaning
money.
is that Palm Beach County is more heavily invested in Ziohel than the entire state of Florida, which is one of the top states. So in other words, Palm Beach County is the most invested part of this entire country in Ziohel.
Oh, yes.
Give me all your money, is that all you got? Give me all your money, have a place to keep it.
I mean, we don't agree that it's cost to taxpayers based on national debt and all that, but it is definitely in line with how much we support them in terms of how much money our states and our counties are invested in him. It's really, it's so gross.
Zoran said that he's going to divest. We'll believe it when we see it. That's one way to get yourself killed, by the way. But we'll see. We'll see if he has it in him. Because if everyone is going to stand with him, it's going to be very tough. But the state of Israel is collapsing. We all know it. And that's why they have to come out with these ridiculous. Again, it used to be that you had the puppets that would go out and sell it. Now you actually need the oligarchs to go out there and threaten people. Say, listen, I guess it's not working anymore. We pay off. Again, Ron Lauder has been used to paying off everybody forever, thinking that that would work. And he has to stand there, the decrepit old man, basically telling people, look, you're going to have to do better than this. This is not working for me. All I can say is, Ron, you are going to die knowing that everything you thought that you were in control of is no longer in your control. And that'll hopefully be your last memory before you leave. Just my thought. If you're enjoying this conversation so far, which we certainly hope that you are, we hope you'll consider going over to patreon.com/revolutionary change. For as little as $5 a month, you can become a supporter of our small but mighty and growing channel. And on last count, let's get us up to date in terms of where we are at this moment. As of right now, we are at 95,884 subscribers. So as I said, we are moving in on 96,000. I have this premonition in my mind that we will cross 100,000 on the night of our winter solstice. That will
It wouldn't surprise me, you know. Solstice has there's a very special thing about the solstice.
Special, very special.
Love me solstice.
And do not forget to check out our super PAC at revolutionarychangepac.org. If you can at least sign up and check us out, that would be tremendously appreciated. And also make sure, guys, if you are not subscribed on Rumble, get over to Rumble, Revolutionary Change on Rumble. Check us out. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, and X. For our super chatters so far this evening, AJN, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Really appreciate you. Hope you're here this evening and enjoying the show. Sue Lewis, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Really appreciate you being
here. Sue.
Thank you so much.
I like it when here's the thing. Anytime it's a person that you could tell it's them, it's the real person, and they actually just use a regular profile picture, those are my people.
Oh,
truthfully.
Yeah.
Those are my people. Just because probably they're at least in the Gen X vicinity range and they're just regular people. I just appreciate it. Thank you, Sue.
Jim Talib, always a pleasure. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. And of course, Piano Man with the $10 super sticker. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you being here. Here's my friend from across the pond, Patman. $8 pound this evening. Thank you, sir.
It's £8.
This won't buy arms for the revolution, but it might pay for a sandwich for a soldier. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you. See, the Irish understand.
Slick Willie showing up. Willie Bragg, appreciate you. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton thought the Democratic Leadership Council Reaganized the Democratic Party in the 90s. I hate the Clintons. I'd like to know who likes the Clintons.
The Clintons don't even like the Clintons.
I don't think Bill cares very much for him, and I don't think, or for her, slip of the tongue, and I don't think she cares very much for him. I think it's just a marriage for convenience at this point. That's what we're looking at. And do we have another one? Yes, we do. Marvin Vargas with the $2. Feel Good Zio Theater done to get money for U.S. government tools.
Yeah, That's why they do those sorts of ridiculous things. And also, they were needing to put out that good PR in the past 3 years. So why not have a menorah lighting ceremony?
David Lee Roth lights
Lights
the
the
menorah.
menorah.
Even though Adam Sandler is a product of the Zionism.
It's yeah.
BGBG617 with the $9.99. They're going to have difficulty getting regular white, black, and Hispanic kids to keep the money laundering pipeline open through Venn. Former Coughlin called for the end of the Fed. Yeah, I mean, listen, we call for the end of the Fed. As far as I'm concerned, I would go back to the gold standard at this point. I'm just sick of what we have. I'm sick of watching it. And everyone who doesn't understand how our system works, it's very important to know the difference. And wanker tanker with the $5. Cool. I'd never put a pick up there. Sorry. F all.
No, it's okay.
And all forms of apartheid. Agreed.
I meant when I said I like people that use themselves, it's not that if you don't have any profile picture, like I get that, but I like that if you do have one, that it's actually you.
Yes, and I also think it's one of the things that we understand about our channel that we're obviously very appreciative of. This is community for a lot of people. This is family. And we're very, very grateful that we're able to provide a medium where people can get together a few nights a week, share their thoughts, and also not feel like they're alone. Like, to me, that's very
important. It is.
It's a very scary, lonely world out there right now because we're being run by these psychopaths, these people that have a complete disregard for humanity. And there is going to be a major price to pay. And we're living it right now. Speaking truth to power is a very dangerous animal. And I bring this up because, whenever Jen and I do our shows together, we generally do not comment on other commentators.
And why is that, Peter?
Because unless it's substantive about a particular topic, there's no point.
Well, no, because I don't want to.
Well, yeah, but again, it has to do with substance. And
there was somebody like a couple shows ago that said like, oh, I didn't want to talk about Candace because I was so hung up on myself. No, it's why does somebody with a smaller platform need to be giving our platform space to people that have infinitely bigger platforms than us?
Look who showed up tonight. Kat, it's good to see you. Happy holidays.
Kat.
Hope you're doing well. Yes, we're getting close. I say this because Tucker Carlson he recently went on with Theo Vaughn, and he had a nice conversation with Theo. Maybe I'll talk about it on Saturday. But he has basically been working behind the scenes for the past few nights. He's made some very poignant comments regarding Charlie Kirk and defending Candace Owens. But to me, if there is a conversation that is worth commenting on, it's Tucker Carlson with Francesca Albanese.
Microsoft, who have provided their services and access to data, Palestinian data, that has allowed Israel to set up systems to mass target and mass kill Palestinians. I mean, there is an application called Where is Daddy that allows the army to randomly track people and reach them when they are with their families so as to inflict the most harm.
Now, when we talk about the government contracts that psychopath killers like Alex Karp and Peter Thiel get for Palantir, that's what they're talking about. These micro-targeting operations to go and kill people like the Palestinians in Gaza and, yes, the West Bank, where do you think it's coming from? It's coming from psychopathic mass murderers like these men. Like Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer now after what he just pulled in Venezuela. Well, what the hell do you think Alex Karp and Peter Thiel are? And Francesca, who's had her entire life ruined, she apparently has had, and I think she may mention it in this conversation, she's had everything shut off. Like she can't access.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're trying to ruin her life. And I see Hazel Eyes says she loves the Italian accent. I love it too so much. And it just clicked for me while we were listening to Francesca, like what it is, why she reminds me of Isabella Rossellini. And I love the way that sounds. It's so good. She sounds so elegant.
Concur.
Brutal is it? And I agree with you. This is something that people must understand, because this is the end of humanity, the end of the civilization that we have pretended to belong to until now. Israel has the most sophisticated military army in the region, and Israel is knowing exactly what it's doing and has been knowing this for 2 years. And this is why there are also so many soldiers now breaking down. The level of suicides is increasing among young Israelis who have served in the army. And of course so, because they are just older than teenagers, and they've been turned by indoctrination into the willful executioners of a genocide. This is why I'm saying we must intervene. People who love Israel must intervene to save what remains of Israel.
No, this is where she and I diverge, because she is a far superior and gracious human being than I am. That's really what it comes down to. This is somebody who should win a Nobel Peace Prize. She's still trying to think of a way out, a safety ramp, an exit for the Israelis. She's still of that mindset, because she truly is a peacemaker. That's who she is. Me, not so much. I don't care if they have an easy way out. I don't give a shit. I want them gone, lanced like a boil off the face of humanity.
And this is a person that if they could get away with assassinating her, they would.
And yet she wants, and she gives nothing but grace in return. Yeah.
She's a special lady for sure.
The biggest harm is being done by those outside of Israel who keep on defending this regime that not only has imposed a military dictatorship for decades on the Palestinians in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and until 2005 in Gaza, but also on the Israelis who are part of the system. You cannot brutalize the other without losing your humanity in the.
Well, you got Brett to show his face, Jen, so there you go.
Oh, there he is. Good. I guilted people into showing. I really didn't mean to do that. I was just happy to see just a regular person that, you know.
What Francesca doesn't seem to understand is that there is no saving humanity in Israel. It's over. Yeah. They have reached the point of no return.
They're done.
And when somebody was mentioning in the chat, why are Candace and Tucker able to maintain their position?
I don't know.
Because as Jen and I have surmised, they are probably both each connected in their own way to intelligence. In my opinion, Tucker is clearly CIA. And that doesn't mean that he's involved with clandestine operations. It just means that he's protected by Central Intelligence. Not everybody that works for these organizations all agree on the same matter.
I don't know how he's protected.
That's
I
just
know
that he doesn't mean it's correct. And then as far as Candace is concerned, I believe her the man that she is married to is part of MI6. That's my theory as far as that's concerned.
It could be a lot of things. The point is for whatever reason, they're being protected.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't change their language. They are very good. Tucker and Candace are the two best. This is from left or right politics, doesn't matter. There is no one who has had greater impact going against the Zio state than the two of them. And one has to wonder why, because when we talk about Fuentes, we know that Fuentes is some type of an op because we see how he changes his language all the time to fit the situation. But they don't. And the fact that the fact that Francesca is going through what she is going through right now, and Tucker is using his multi-million subscriber platform to give her a voice to talk about what they're doing to her right now. If you think the Zio state hated his guts already,
right,
you can only imagine what they want to do to him now that he's letting her.
So for people who question whether or not he's protected, I guess we're going to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he gets through the next, however long, relatively, alive, then he's being protected by something, because nobody is really untouchable. So then that means that there's a reason why that he can get away with it. So we'll see. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe he's, another victim down the road. Who knows?
That's right. That's exactly right. So just I want you to clarify something. I think I heard you say that there is some kind of app maybe made by an American company called Where's Daddy that allows the Israeli government to murder men in front of their children. Did I dream that, or did you say that?
No, I said basically Israel has developed, it's not an app, it's a system. Israel has developed this system, automatized system to decide the targets through a computing system, and the data has been provided by tech.
Yeah.
Just killing people. I mean, Tucker's eyes really say it all. They do.
Well, he's definitely been putting more and more out there that is contrary to what the establishment once put out there. So we're going to find out how protected they are. We're in an unprecedented situation here.
Well, when people ask, like, why would Tucker do this, or is Tucker really on the side of justice? I would use this. I don't know if I would use it as Exhibit A, but it's certainly an exhibit worth referencing. Of all the people, he puts Francesca Albanese on his podcast. That's a person to me who is dead serious about breaking the Zio state stranglehold.
Well, good.
But again, remember the continuity factor that we talk about every time we do a live stream. Ron Lauder, of all the people that this psychopathic billionaire Zio nutjob decides to reference, who does he say is the most like Hitler? Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is the most like Adolf Hitler.
Who's platforming Francesca?
You have completely lost the plot, Zio scum. Completely. And that's great, because they don't know what to do at this point.
Everything's a projection. I mean, everything is an admission. That's what it is. So, they're very fascist. So to them, that's what they project onto other people.
Time will certainly tell. Now, I wanted to talk about this topic tonight, and I mentioned to you earlier, it's going to be a nice lengthy segment that I think you guys will enjoy. But Jen, can you kind of warm the audience up with what the Jezreel Valley, Palestine, is all about?
I'm not sure. I even know which thing you're referring to.
Well, this is considered one of the biggest lies in all of Zionism, in the entire construct of its ideology. And so we are going to play a clip for you guys, and we're going to comment on it. But this is going to really take you inside an even greater layer of the Zio lie.
Well, where is this from? What is this clip from?
So this is let me specify. So it's called the Jezreel Valley. That's where this is, that is the name of the place.
Right. But where is that?
So it's considered part of, for over a century, Zionist propaganda has claimed Jewish settlers transformed the Jezreel Valley from a depopulated, malaria-infested wasteland.
But where is that? I've never even heard of this.
Will you let me finish?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to picture where this even is.
Into a fertile paradise. But Ottoman records, Western eyewitnesses, and British reports expose the Zionist fairy tale as a shameless lie. In reality, the Jezreel Valley was the breadbasket of Palestine and one of the most intensely cultivated stretches of farmland in the Mediterranean before the Zios arrived.
So it's a biblical location.
Zionist propaganda claims that Jewish settlers transformed the Jezreel Valley from a depopulated, malaria-infested wasteland into a fertile paradise.
Mm.
It's central to the myth of making the desert bloom. It's also a shameless lie. We know that the valley was intensely cultivated by 22 villages because a 19th century legal battle over stolen land titles left a paper trail. The stage for this theft was set by the Ottoman Land Code of 1858. On paper, it was a modernization effort intended to register existing Miri land titles. In reality, it was a trap. Registering your land title meant military conscription for your sons. That was a death sentence in the empire's collapsing frontiers in Yemen, the Balkans, and the Caucasus. The Ottoman accountant general in Egypt remarked that the Yemen front was a foundry that melted soldiers away like salt in water. So the fellahin, as the Palestinian peasants were called, dared not register. In 1872, an insolvent Ottoman government moved to settle its massive debts to the Sursak banking family of Beirut by allowing the Sursaks to register vast tracts of the Jezreel Valley for pennies, illegally voiding the villagers' land titles. More than 20 fellahin villages petitioned the Acre Administrative Council to reverse the sale, and they won. The council ordered the rights of many of the villages restored. However, after the Sursaks paid a massive $1 million bribe to Rashid Pasha, the governor of Syria, the council's verdict was overturned by imperial decree. Despite this record of habitation, Alan Tal, in his 2002 book, Pollution in a Promised Land, wrote, "The Jezreel Valley at the start of the 20th century was an undeveloped swamp."
Boy, that guy sure looks like he's native to the land, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He looks like he'd have skin cancer after like a week living there.
Why have they perpetuated that myth for so long?
Well, it's the same. I mean, I never heard it called Jezreel Valley before, but it's the whole concept of the land without a people for a people without a land. And I remember, them teaching us even when I was there. And that's why we had to plant these trees. So instead of planting trees or keeping the landscaping and the agriculture and the entire ecology how it was, they came in and destroyed it and then had us plant non-indigenous trees, which is what is now all over there now, are these non-indigenous trees that are planted all over the place. But no, it was just part of their effort to paint the Palestinian people as savage and uncivilized, and they didn't know how to grow food. And of course, nothing could be further from the truth. And the whole area was cultivated, which is why the Zionists wanted it. Even think about it. And I've said this before, does anybody believe that a whole group of European Jews would be interested in land that didn't grow anything? In what universe would a whole group of Jews be interested in a land that was barren? They wouldn't.
But also this whole idea that they would make the desert bloom, like there's some special people that can do something that no one else can.
Right.
That type of,
it's silly.
It is. And to think that that's been sold for generations.
The Jerusalem Post wrote that the valley had been uninhabitable for centuries prior to the first Jewish settlers returning to their biblical homeland. Tal and the Jerusalem Post ignored the documentation that the Sursaks' 104,000-acre acquisition was populated by 22 villages, or about 26 people per square mile, comparable to the population density of many Midwestern U.S. farm townships of the same era. How valuable was this stolen land? Consider the account of American travel writer Bayard Taylor. Visiting the region in the 1850s, he described the Jezreel in his book, The Lands of the Saracens. It is one of the richest districts in the world. It is now a green sea, covered with fields of wheat and barley, or great grazing tracts on which multitudes of sheep and goats are wandering.
This is 1855. This is almost a century prior to Israel being created. It sounds to me like this was a very fertile land that some Zio scum saw and decided that they wanted it. This is just conquest. Are you doing something over there?
Yes, actually, I am. But I am following this, and I'm very aware of the conquest and white colonialism and why we use this little outpost in West Asia and why we think we're entitled to it and how we use the Jews to get everybody on board. And yes, I'm very aware of this. Are you trying to educate me on the history?
Well, no, but I am hoping you follow along.
I am following. Just continue with
just
what you're
making
doing.
sure, but I also
Don't
think it's
worry about
important,
me.
but I think it's important to point out here that this is a very important point to be made. The acknowledgement of Palestine in 1855, and not just any place in the desert. This is a established area. This is an area that is civilized and has cash crops and has civilization. And this lie, this unconscionable lie forever and a day, that was in many ways the hallmark of how this all started, claiming that this was a land for people without a land. It's always been a lie.
15 years later, Mark Twain had a similar reaction when he first encountered the Jezreel. He found it, checkered with fields like a chessboard, dotted about its borders with white, compact villages. When it is robed in the fresh verdure of spring, it must form a charming picture. Yes, when Taylor and Twain visited, the Palestinian peasants were poor, but so were peasants everywhere else. They were far better off than Irish peasants, 1 million of whom died of starvation under British rule. They had more rights than Russian peasants, who were literally slaves until 1861. Fellahin, who had lost their land titles, paid about 40% of their harvest in taxes and rent, while in the United States, sharecroppers paid more than 50%. In short, this was a productive, functioning agrarian society. The Fellahin success was built on centuries of experience working with the Jezreel's complex ecosystem of wetlands and fertile plains. The Zionist colonists saw the Jezreel's wetlands as unproductive swamps. In reality, they were the cornerstone of a complex agro-ecosystem, replenishing topsoil through seasonal floods, sustaining fish and grazing buffalo, providing water storage that buffered droughts and floods. The Fellahin and the Bedouin had developed an interdependent economy that was in sync with this ecosystem. Bedouin grazed their flocks on post-harvest stubble, fertilizing the Fellahin soil. Fellahin villages served as trading posts for the nomadic Bedouin. But while the arrangement was not always harmonious, it proved resilient and mutually beneficial. Under the Fellahin's Musha communal land system, Fellahin plots were periodically redistributed to prevent wealth concentration and to incentivize collective management of the land and wetlands that fed them all.
Maybe that's the reason that they had to destroy it. Collective living? You mean like on the kibbutzes, I suppose? Is that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the early Zionists were definitely communal.
So when did that change?
That's a capitalism thing too. I mean, the early Zionists were going there and setting up these little communities, the communes, essentially kibbutzes, and having that and being agricultural. And, and there were a lot of people that were living that way for decades before, 1947, 48. And they were perfectly content living that way amongst the population there. So, this had to do with white colonialism, not the people that were trying to live in little communities.
In the Jezreel, mosquitoes carried malaria, but over thousands of years, the Fellahin had evolved red blood cell adaptations that mitigated the effects of malaria. The European colonists had no such biological defenses. The Zionist Merhavia settlement in the Jezreel was abandoned after being ravaged by malaria and later resettled as a kibbutz. One of the kibbutz's early members was none other than Golda Meir, who had to leave when her husband contracted malaria.
You want to talk about one of the most disgusting people to ever walk the earth?
Oh, yeah. And she's so revered, like so revered. Like I grew up amongst people that definitely thought extremely highly of her.
Well, the person that's the equivalent of her today is Daniela Weiss. Like, if you guys think of what a psychopath Daniela Weiss is, well, that's what Golda Meir was about 75, 80 years ago. It's the same thing.
Yeah. These
And
are
that-
psychotic people.
Oh, yes. And as Marvin Vargas points out, her real name is Goldie Mabovich from Ukraine. Shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Ironic that the woman who claimed that Palestinians didn't exist couldn't live on the land that the people who didn't exist were biologically adapted to. And what was the actual impact of replacing the Fellahin with the Zionist colonists? In 1930, the British Hope Simpson Report offered an assessment. The results of Jewish colonization of the Vale of Jezreel are varied. In some villages, there are clear signs of success. In others, the opposite is the case. The village of Afule, which the American Zionist Commonwealth boomed as the Chicago of Palestine, is a sea of thistles. A plague of field mice was officially stated to be due to the fact that 30,000 dunams of the land held by the Jews are derelict and covered with weeds. The report went on to say, "It is a mistake to assume that the Vale of Jezreel was a wilderness before the arrival of the Jewish settlers, and that it is now a paradise." The Fellahin in the Jezreel maintained productive agriculture for generations while paying heavy taxes and rent to absentee landlords. By contrast, Zionist agriculture on the same land required massive, continuous injections of foreign capital, including subsidized housing, land, and tools, just to stay afloat.
Sound familiar?
Yes.
It's going on today, guys. It is still going on today. The billions upon billions of dollars every year that we subsidize these spoiled sons of bitches, they're not even the least bit grateful. There is a clip that is going to drop this evening at the 9 o'clock hour, or the 10 o'clock hour Eastern time, I should say. Israelis in Italy harassing and attacking Italians for supporting Palestine. In Italy. They are an entitled bunch, to say the least. And this is in part why we must end this unholy alliance.
Remember, Zionist organizations only bought the most fertile, intensively cultivated land in Palestine.
Of course.
They imported tractors, chemical fertilizers, and built agricultural research centers. Yet, despite all that capital and technology, when the British conducted their survey of Palestine in 1945, they found that the humble Fellahin produced 92% of the grain, 86% of the grapes, 99% of the olives, 77% of the vegetables, 95% of the melons, over 99% of the tobacco. According to the report, the Arabs, who were under 69% of the population, in 1945 were responsible for over 78% of the agricultural output. So tell me again, who was making the desert bloom? Thanks for watching. Please.
It's always been a lie. It always will be a lie. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be, shall be, must be free from this colonized hellscape that these bastards have bestowed upon the world. And we are aiding and abetting it and have been for over 3 generations. And it's time to end it. So who knows how long it'll take for us to unwind it all, but like you've always said, we have to bear witness to this, and this is another way of bearing witness, not just watching the children get murdered, but also sharing with people just how bad this all is and what everything that this has been about has been a lie. There is no truth. That's why they react the way that they do. Everything that they've been led to believe is a lie. I don't have any sympathy. I just want to.
I mean, a lot of us were lied to for a very long time. That's just the reality. And many people are just not wanting to see that, even though they are given the information and it's in front of them and they still don't want to look at it. And that's the crossover to willful ignorance, from actual ignorance to willful ignorance. And unfortunately, that is also strongly correlated with class and privilege. People that have the means to know about things and choose not to, people that have the time, that aren't struggling to survive, but that you just don't bother to look things up. Those are the people that are the problem. And the information is very available now. You know, when I was a kid, this wasn't readily available information.
No, this is also part of the reason why they feel that they have to go through a massive censorship campaign across all social media, because they know that their narrative doesn't work anymore, but the cat's out of the bag. It's not going back. It's just a matter of when. Now, I was going to cover the story on Saturday, but you suggested that we cover it tonight. Because
I'm not sure which story. Like, that's the only thing. Like, I didn't know. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think that it's interesting.
So we showed you how things work in terms of the lie on the foreign side of business. But we're now going to show you how it works on the domestic side. Now, this is probably a story that none of you have heard about. And that's why we're here. We're here to provide a service about news that actually matters. And in the case of Pier Village, for those of you who are maybe in the New York City area, like David Hunter, a few others, probably have heard of Long Branch, New Jersey. Now, Pier Village is a master planned area. It's not even a community. It's basically a waterfront eat, work, play apartment complex, fancy restaurants, and it runs right up against the Atlantic Ocean. This place was constructed exactly 20 years ago. And I always thought of it as a nice place to walk around. And, they had some nice restaurants. I actually worked at one of them for a brief period of time. This was in my college years. And it doesn't surprise me that when I heard about this story, it should not have come as anybody would have expected, that there would be an uproar, but one that they were able to keep under wraps. So I'm trying to find the picture of it now, but what ended up happening, and it's still standing today, it has not changed. So I'm going to show you guys a photograph, if I can get one that is big enough. I think this will probably work. Okay. So this particular photo was taken in front of the promenade, which backs up to the ocean front. And they have flagpoles. And at this particular flagpole station, you're going to notice something that looks very disturbing. And I'm going to zoom in on it. Now, as you can see.
And this is a shopping place, right?
Damn it.
Is that what this is? It's like a outdoor shopping place?
1 second. Let me get it up again. It's freaking jerkos. All right. So as you guys can see, this is in the hold on. All right. Let's start this again, since the Israelis are fucking with me as we speak. Stop sharing. Share it again. Here we go. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice something very unique about this particular image. What do you see here? I see 7 flagpoles. I see 1 American flag, and I see 6 Israeli flags. This is in Long Branch, New Jersey. This is a shore town. These flags are still up today, and there's a reason that they're still up, even though people have been fighting City Hall to take them the fuck down. And they've been fighting it for 2 years. Now, I didn't know about this because, again, these stories are kept under wraps. A little interesting caveat about Long Branch, New Jersey. New Jersey, for those of you who don't know, is truly a state of the haves and the have-nots. They are rough and tough, piss-poor, crime-infested cities all over the state. Irvington, Elizabeth, Newark, Patterson, Camden, Trenton, Atlantic City, and I can go on. And then you have all the wealthy suburbs that surround. Now, Long Branch is a great example of the haves and the have-nots. West Long Branch, not so much. Long Branch, right up against the water, lots of money, lots of power, lots of influence. Now, why is this such a significant story, and why is this allowed to stand? Well,
when did it start? Let's go with that. Like, how long has that been like that? Like,
right after I think October 7th.
Okay, so it's been that way for more than 2 years already.
So now what you have here that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of is that the politics of New Jersey are extremely corrupt. We all know that. So here's a little caveat that you probably didn't know. The most powerful congressman in the state of New Jersey, or just the most powerful politician overall, maybe outside of the governor, is Frank Pallone. Frank Pallone has been a congressman in New Jersey since 1988. His brother, John Pallone, is the mayor of Long Branch.
That's common, by the way, for people to understand. There's a lot of, we have families here that are like that. There's different political family situations. It's like, like the Castro brothers, like that. It's a very common situation for people to be entwined and have one person work within the municipality that's inside the other person's jurisdiction. And there's this sort of like incestuous overlap. It's common.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's even more interesting, I said this to you yesterday. I'll say this to the audience. What is the difference between having Frank Pallone and Tony Soprano be a congressperson? Because I don't see the difference. And no, yes, he's Italian, but this is crime syndicate type behavior. That's what this is. So what you're going to see now is a whole bunch of members of the Long Branch community voice their opinion about whether or not these flags should be flying in their community at the boardwalk.
You who are not aware, there are currently 6 Israeli flags, but only 1 American flag being flown at the center of Pier Village. I find this incredibly un-American. The symbols and flags being flown there should reflect the United States of America and not the state of Israel. It has been over a month since I spoke to this council, and the flags are still being flown, which means this council and this Shabbos Goy of a mayor has taken zero action to have flags removed.
This is treason. When I enlisted in the United States Army, I swore an oath to America and the American flag, not the nation of Israel or the flag of Israel. What this really represents is conquest. America is under Israeli occupation.
The display of these flags publicly in your town is an obscenity. It's deeply offensive to most people, including many Jews, including this Jew.
Now, I know you can't see this because I had to blow it up. But if you look at the bottom image and you look right in the middle at that white spot, that is a gentleman. I shouldn't even call him a gentleman. There is a bitch that is sitting there with a tiny hat on, and he has one of those Israel America spliced t-shirts, and he's basically sitting there with the arms folded. Remember that guy, Jen, who turned his back to D'Onofrio?
Yeah.
Well,
we know who he is. Oh, yeah.
Well, basically, that's what this guy is doing. Sitting there, proud as can be, supporting the state of Israel.
Of course.
Got a few more that have their very strong opinions here.
I can't bring my son there because he understands there's a genocide happening. The International Court of Justice says that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. And we have to walk under his flag every day if you want to go for a jog. Are you kidding? We can do better than this. Why are there 6 of those flags? If you want to be inclusive, fly somebody else's flag too. Why are there?
And even if that was the case, I would never, ever permit the Israeli flag to fly. That's the Nazi flag. And everyone should know it. And you're going to all be treated as Nazis every time you fly it.
There's 6 of those flags and only 1 representing this country.
To have my little 7-year-old look up at those flags, put a sting in me.
My opposition to those Israeli flags flying in Long Branch.
And I am up here tonight because I have watched politics surrounding the state of Israel corrupt not just national politics, but now it's affecting my neighborhood and the town in which I grew up in.
Listen, I love my Jewish people, my Palestinian, I love everyone. But my son is a veteran. He's on the Moss Mile. When he came back, he couldn't believe there were Israel flags. He's like, Mom, I'm a veteran, and you have these flags here? Yes, that's my son, and I'm proud of him.
Tonight, 6 Israel flags flying Long Branch. That is 6 too many.
We're Americans. We don't go and raise Chinese flags or Russian flags on their soil, right? Consider disrespectful. And that's what an American flag is, something to respect. People die for that flag.
I would appreciate if you guys take the flags down. This is America. Thank you.
Always America first.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. That's why the flags are not being removed. Jared Kushner and his family own Pier Village. And they want those flags flying.
Yep. So it's not a municipal place, right? It's a private business. It's owned by a private company.
So here's the little secret that you all don't know about this that I'm going to share with you because I decided to do a little sleuthy investigating as somebody who's in commercial real estate. It turns out that when Pier Village was first built, it was actually owned by the town. It was owned by the municipality. And in 2014, they decided to sell it to the Kushner companies. And at the time, paid over $125 million for the property. Today, it's probably worth triple that amount at least, if not more. What are you going to do about it? And this is a crime syndicate of a family. Jared Kushner's father is a federal criminal. But hey, this is why we must oppose mass privatization. That was something we needed to do about 30 years ago, maybe even longer than that. The entire system is broken. And even though Jen likes to give me a lot of shit because I like a free market, there has to be checks and balances.
Whatever. You can believe in whatever hocus pocus you want to believe in. I'm just telling you what works and what doesn't work. You can believe in whatever you want.
Well, I do believe that, like a lot of problems that we have, the Kushners, and yes, the Donald decided to pardon Kushner's father because, of course, we are run by criminals. That's who runs our country. And now it's becoming more and more obvious that they're basically using the laws to prevent this from happening. But I got to tell you, if they don't take those flags down, someone's going to take them down.
I'd like that to happen, actually.
And when someone
I live for that shit.
Yeah. And when someone does take them down, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, the truth is you don't even have to really take them down. You could just burn them down. But
well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't say that.
I'm just saying from a physical standpoint, you wouldn't have to necessarily take them down. You could just sort of set them on fire. I'm just, as a former flag burner myself, it would just be the preferred, easier method than.
Well, they definitely gave you a little bit of a warning when you decided to do that. That wasn't, but you kind of knew that that was going to happen.
No, it had nothing to do with that.
I thought that was part of
it. No, they didn't even know about that. Remember, it was the synagogue called the police on us.
I don't know about that, Dr. Z. Rocker. That's not my understanding. I've been following this story pretty closely. But again, when you privatize everything, you eventually lose your ability to do a lot. I mean,
it allows a few people to own the rest of us, and that's where we're headed. We're headed to forced work camps. That's where we're headed, because housing is becoming unaffordable, houselessness is being criminalized, and camps are being built for the unhoused. Do the math. Where are most people going to end up? If being unhoused is criminal and most people can't afford homes, I'd say that means that a whole bunch of people are looking at being in internment camps, because this was never really just about the immigrants. So this is about maintaining a system of oppression, a system, I mean, really, it's an apartheid system. I mean, we really still have slavery, but that's what we're doing. It's just class-based.
Yeah, we've also entered into an era where truly the people's voice doesn't matter anymore. Like, we used to be able to voice our concern and get things done if the collective majority said, yeah, we're not doing this. But we really have reached a stage of end, not even late stage, but end stage capitalism, where they are not listening to anything that the people have to say. The caucasity to fly those, not one, but
no, that's not caucasity. You're still not understanding caucasity, are you? It's weird to me. He just doesn't get what that means.
Yes, I do.
You think it's interchangeable with audacity, and it really isn't. It's based on audacity, but the caucasity element comes into play when there's a racial superior motive.
Superiority, yes, absolutely.
Superior motive involved in it. This isn't really that. This is Zio-based, which, yes, it's definitely bigoted, but it really isn't a race thing.
My point is, you have 7 flagpoles and you put 6 Israeli flags. I mean, believe me, they only put 1 American flag up because if they put 7 Israeli flags up, then they would really have had a problem on their hands. But trust me when I tell you, Jared Kushner hates this country, loves Israel, and is a criminal. He is an absolute psychopathic criminal. He looks like American. Well, actually,
you say that about him like he stands out in some way. What makes him different than any other person in that vicinity, in that circle, in that, like, they're all the same?
Oh, yes, but he's got a lot of power and he's got a lot of influence. So that does matter. Jared Kushner has a lot to say and has a lot of control. So yes, I do think he stands out. Not in a good way. He looks like a wax figure. He's just this really odd, and yeah, he's like an android. He's like Peter Thiel. He's like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It's like
they're lizard people.
It's like a lizard person living inside of them.
Yeah, they're reptilian.
They're trying to get out.
Yeah, so, they're very reptilian.
Bottom line, if you feel like you're losing your country, you are. So you got to stand up and fight back. And don't waste time with the bullshit. Stay focused on what really matters. We must collectively work together. This is a class war, nothing more. And that's our only way out. So stick with us.
Stick with us. We know what we're doing.
I think we do know a little bit. We don't know? We don't know anything?
No, we don't. I mean, we know some things, but I wouldn't say we know what we're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's just figuring shit out.
Well, yeah, but you said that most people need upper management. And so it would seem to me that I want people to know that they can trust us. That our objective is to do right by humanity. That's our goal. And we will keep doing that. And as we continue to grow and continue to have more of an impact, it is our responsibility to do right. and to show people these stories, to clue them in. And then what do we do moving forward in terms of how we deal with it? You only need 3% of the population. That's it. 3% of the population needs to band together to overturn this broken system.
I don't even know that it has to be that much. It just has to be the right people. Again, it's one of those situations when we talk about a general strike, it isn't that every single person needs to not be working. It's that the right people in the strategic places need to not be working, and everybody else needs to be doing the support that is necessary so those people can do that. And it really has to do with, what we would call essential workers, but you shut down things like trucking, railways, and shipping, it's game over. So it isn't so much about the percentage of people, it's which percentage of people that need to really get their shit together and start refusing to participate in this bullshit.
If you've enjoyed this conversation this evening, which you hope you have.
People are being harsh on me tonight, man. Let me tell you. The people in the chat, I get shit for when I interrupt you. I get shit for when I don't say enough. I get shit if I look distracted. It's like there's things going on, people, that not everybody needs to know about every minute of what I'm doing. It's like if I don't participate enough, if I interrupt too much.
Well, to be
leave
fair,
me the fuck alone.
Well, to be fair, you were looking down quite a bit.
I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It wasn't like I'm sitting here by myself and I'm expecting them to watch me look down. If I have something I'm doing, there's something I'm doing. Get over yourselves. Watch the screen. Don't worry about what I'm doing. And the same goes for you. You don't need to be calling it out to people and making it like a thing. That's absurd.
I was trying to do a segment.
No, then do it, but don't worry about me.
All right, I won't worry about you. You're on your own, kid.
Thank you.
Final time this evening, please go over to patreon.com/revolutionary change for as little as $5 a month. You could become a supporter of our small but mighty and growing channel. We have gotten a few more super chats, so we must get to them and show the love for the evening. I will give a shout out to BGBG617 for $1.99. Mine is my cat Henry, who moved in from the alley, and he is real. We always love a black cat.
I actually really do love a black. I like black cats. I love white cats. Kind of the same with dog. I have an all-white dog.
I like cats. I don't have a problem with cats.
Look, I have very healthy respect for feline. I just don't want to share a house with one.
Because then it's not your house anymore.
No, well, they're not pack animals. They're just not.
Bren Tren with the £4.99. Albanese is worth her weight in gold. Absolutely. Nawal Naher with the $9.99. Just want to say thank you for your support for the Palestinian cause. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very, very much. And New York City, the Big Apple with the $20 super sticker. Thank you very much for your generosity. We really appreciate it.
I see something funny in there. This one's funny to me. I don't do scary movies. I don't watch scary movies. So you can't watch a scary movie with me. I don't like to be scared. Being scared to me is one of the worst feelings in the entire world. And the fact that people voluntarily choose to feel scared to me is like masochistic.
Well, I think
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of masochism in the enjoyment of.
Absolutely. I don't, you know what? Like I'm telling you, I like a good sad. I like a happy. I like a funny. I could do serious. I could do scary. No, I don't need to feel scared. I never need to feel scared. No, I'm good.
I will also say that there are horror movies that were made yesteryear that were really, really good. I can't remember the last time I had any interest in even seeing a film like that. And I can remember I had come over your house one time and Jason had on this movie that was like basically Winnie the Pooh and I think it was Tigger or something. But these were like men. They were like men dressed in like Winnie the Pooh outfits or whatever. And it's like
this so creepy.
Of these, it's like exploitative against women. Like it's so obvious. Like the women are supposed to be attractive, but they're supposed to be dumb, and they don't know what they're doing. And then it's like acts them up. And I'm just thinking, this is beyond horror. This is like anger. There's like something. There's like a subliminal message being thrown out there, as far as I'm concerned.
I get enough scary, vile shit watching what's going on in the world. I don't need to know what goes on in the depths of other people's psycho imaginations.
Well, Hazel Eyes has it right. I don't like torture porn, and it's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's it. Yeah,
porn.
like that's what that is.
Torture porn.
Well, that's well, yeah. I mean, there's torture porn, which is pornography, but then
I
this
don't
is
know
a
about
form
that.
of torture porn, meaning you're watching a movie that is meant to. It's like it's meant to torture, like it's meant to make you nuts. That's like
I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either. But yet there are people who watch it. And
Hey,
think it's worth
let me
watching.
tell you something. I am a very live and let live person. I think every consenting person should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do in the privacy of their own home. I do not like scary shit. I don't. Because here's how I know that. Because when things have happened where I have really felt scared, it's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever. Like, I can't think of anything I like less than feeling scared. So the idea of subjecting myself to that voluntarily is just strange to me. And I'm not talking about stupid, slasher shit. That to me is just dumb. I don't like, I mean, and startling. I mean, but I mean like really scary stuff. No.
I mean, I do like. I like. There's nothing wrong with a scary movie. That's a good movie. Like, I can understand how people were scared of Silence of the Lambs, and that's a really good movie.
The last scary movie I ever saw was Seven, and that to me was similar to Silence of the Lambs, and that's what I mean by scary. When I say scary, I mean the shit that's going to really give me nightmares, not stupid slasher. That stuff's just stupid to me. I'm talking about like scary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there is a scene in Seven that is like it's an all-time jump scare. Like that.
There were a few, and I don't want to relive them, but that was the last time I saw a scary movie, and I decided after that I don't care how good of a movie something is. If it's going to cause me that kind of like mental anguish, and I'm not subjecting myself to it.
Now, here's the thing. I have not seen Rosemary's Baby. I would see it, but it's pretty obvious what the message of the movie actually is. The message of Rosemary's Baby is women not having control of their bodily autonomy. That is the message of the film. You must bear the Antichrist. No,
we don't need to watch movies for that scary. You could just come live in Florida. You can come live down here. I don't have right to my own body here.
Well, Rosemary's Baby was 1968, I think, or something like that. So yeah, that without question. But yeah, again, like you said, why watch movies to make you nuts? Like, what's the point? I don't know. But I also think that the world out there is very boring and sad and not exciting. And I think that's why so many people get into video games. That's why a lot of people get into fantasy.
I watch My Story every day. I am fully on board with the fictional universe. I watch My Story every single day without fail since 1988.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. I don't have that type of time. But if I did,
that's Peter's way of sort of doing like backhanded insult to me, because clearly I have so much time on my hands and he's so busy.
No,
so I have time to watch My Story.
Hold on. Stop. Hold on. I actually do think that if you have something that brings you joy or something that you do like, I mean, clearly, if you've been watching it for this long, it's clearly something very important to you.
Yeah.
And that's good, because I do think it's very hard to get joy out of this life in general. Right now, it's very hard. So I certainly get why escapism, as Phil says, is a big component.
For me, it's Days. I watch Days of Our Lives. I have been watching Days of Our Lives every day. Sometimes I don't, like sometimes they'll back up episodes, but I used to actually use cassette, like VHS, and record it like back in the day before there was, streaming. But yes, Days of Our Lives, it's My Story. I watch it religiously and I very much like it. And I know it's ridiculous and I don't care. And it makes me happy. So
I can't really say if there's like a specific film that I could look back on and just say it was like, that's the scariest thing I ever saw. Did it really do a number? I guess I would really have to think about it. But I think a movie like
Bo and Hope are back partnering with Steve running Black Patch, the detective agency, but they're not in town. They're working for Black Patch, but they're remote, so they're not really currently on screen. But Bo and Hope are back together. Anywho.
Bo of the Fifth Column?
No.
Oh, I don't know. What are you talking about?
He was asking about Bo on my story.
Oh, I don't. See, guys, this is why I can't. I think when I first saw, okay. So I will tell you, I can remember my scariest movie experience.
Me too.
This was when I was a kid. I was probably, I couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 years old at the time. And I wasn't able to sleep. Like I had woken up in the middle of the night and I put on the TV. And I put on a movie that I saw that Sissy Spacek was in, and I didn't know what it was. For some reason, I thought it might have been The Coal Miner's Daughter, and I remember hearing that this was her Oscar-winning movie, and, you know, I'm a kid, so what do I know? And little by little, I'm watching this movie, and it turns out I was watching Carrie. And let's just say that the conclusion of that movie, especially to a child, it was so frightening, and especially the Jesus imagery, the psychotic performance by Piper Laurie. It was very difficult to take. And so I couldn't go back to sleep. So what was the next movie that was on that I decided to start watching? Full Metal Jacket. So you can imagine that that wasn't a very smart move on my part.
No. I don't like nightmares. I see enough shit in the real world that gives me nightmares. I don't need to add to that with whatever shit in people's heads. And yeah, Bo and Hope are still on there. Again, they're not regulars right now, but they're still in, you know, they're in existence.
And the thing that made Carrie scary, it isn't so much that it was the blood and guts. It's the Carrie had the eyes.
Okay, I can answer this. Okay. There have been two devil possessions that have occurred on Days of Our Lives. So it happened, and then 10 years later, they did it again. So the devil possession. Also, there was episodes where these two twins sort of fell out of the sky. There was that. That was kind of weird. There have been some weird things, but usually it has to do with like the mad scientist bringing people back to life and shit. But yeah.
Yes, and I agree. What is scary in Carrie is the religious psychosis of her mother and Brian De Palma's ability to use certain color palettes. It was the music. I mean, listen, when you think about what is considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time, Halloween. Halloween is a very good low budget film, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as chilling if it wasn't for John Carpenter's score of the film.
All right, we are so far off track.
We're just having fun now.
We're having fun, but I mean, and Marlena was the first and primary person to be possessed the first time. The second time, the devil transferred between a few different people, but did ultimately end up back with Marlena. So there have been, Marlena has definitely been the source for the devil to get into Salem.
So Hazel Eyes also brings up Scream. Now, I personally thought that Scream was not that good of a film. It was okay, but if you like that type of meta type film, which is what Scream was supposed to be, the last Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Wes Craven was New Nightmare that came out a couple of years prior to. If you have not seen that, that's definitely worth seeing. Let's just get this out of the way once and for all.
What are we going to get out of the way?
So we're in the holiday season. We have one of the airing of grievances that I'm sure we'll talk about is what is and what isn't a holiday season.
Don't even start with me with this. Okay. It is way too early for you to start with me. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is. Okay. So we agree.
And we're not going to get into that whole thing here because I'll kick people out of the chat that say otherwise.
There's only
ho ho. It's a Christmas movie.
I got a machine gun. A Nightmare on Elm Street, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, and New Nightmare. Those are the three. And if you want to put a fourth one in there just for fun because it was such an 80s MTV movie, Nightmare 4 is at least worth a watch. It's a great sequence.
Never watched that shit.
Well, there's a great sequence.
Yes, Die Hard, in fact, is a Christmas movie. And honestly, that could be one of the great divides in civilization right there.
Yeah,
that I'm going to take seriously, or the people that do not find Die Hard to be a Christmas movie need to go to the other side. You are not on my team.
What is
Bad Santa was freaking awesome.
Okay,
Bad
and I will
Santa
say for
was so funny.
and I will say for Henry Kajawa, if you haven't seen The Thing, there is a scene in that movie. There are a couple of scenes, I should say, that I don't know if it'll scare you or make you sick or both, but keep in mind that is one sick fucking movie. Very much so. And some suggest it's Carpenter's best.
Bad Santa. That's what Schultz was talking about. Bad Santa.
In terms of the best Christmas movie.
So funny. Christmas Story is the best Christmas movie.
It's definitely up there. Lethal Weapon is also a Christmas movie, though not as much as Die Hard, but you gotta give it its due. It's necessary.
This person's now just pissing me off.
Okay, well, yeah. We'll agree to disagree. The Iranian kiddo wants us to know that he doesn't watch it on Christmas, but it is a Christmas movie.
Yes, you don't have to watch it on Christmas. That's like saying tater tots are just for breakfast, when in fact there should be an all-day food. Okay,
There is.
What?
Well, I would say breakfast is an all-day food.
Well, breakfast is an all-day food, but I'm just saying, newsflash to Buc-ee's, tater tots are not just for breakfast.
Okay, they only serve it at breakfast?
Don't get me started.
Uh-oh.
Yes, don't get me friggin' started. And as to when breakfast ends for them is a whole other thing too, okay? So, but yeah.
Well, in terms of if I can only watch one movie on Christmas, I mean,
I watch the same. I have my favorite Christmas movies. I have two. There's two that are my favorite. One is Christmas Story, and my other favorite Christmas time movie that I watch pretty religiously is The Holiday.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say some stupid man shit about that.
You like Jack Black? Is that what it is?
Well, he is like just a bit part of it. I do like Jack Black. I love Jude Law. I love that movie. I love everything about that movie. I love that movie. I even like Dustin Hoffman in his cameo in that movie. I like everything about that movie. I know that movie. It's my jam. And I do pretty much, I will alternate between that and Christmas Story pretty much throughout the couple of days of Christmas time.
Well, as a millennial, the only movie that I can say with absolute certainty that I ever went to the movie theater to see more than once, and I went to see it 5 times in the movies, was the original Home Alone. So I can recall.
That's a good Christmas movie. Yeah.
It's a great Christmas movie. And when Daniel Stern has the tarantula put on his face, like that's and Groundhog Day is a great movie, even though it's not a Christmas movie, but it's definitely a holiday season type movie because of the weather and the snow and all that. Did you know he could ice skate?
Did you know that I went to Gobbler's Knob?
I'm sure that was fun.
I've sent you pictures from Gobbler's Knob. I was at Gobbler's Knob.
I do like Christmas Vacation. That is a good film. There's a lot of great holiday season movies. The original Miracle on 34th Street from 1934 or whatever it was. That's
nah. I don't do maudlin.
You don't do maudlin?
No. I like sarcastic and
so you don't like It's a Wonderful Life then?
No. It's not. First of all, I don't like black and white. I can't. I just can't. I can't get into it.
Whatever.
I've tried multiple times. I just can't. I just keep wanting it to be in color.
Well, we can all debate what is the best holiday movie, but we hope you're all having a great start to the holiday season. We hope you're all doing well.
We have an exciting Christmas week coming up.
Yes, we do. We still need to get, we had a guest today, but we had to pull it last minute for reasons we don't need to talk about. But we'll have a guest for next Monday. We have our guests lined up for next And maybe the most underrated holiday season movie, in my opinion, is Scrooge. It's actually 1988. I absolutely love that film. And just so you know, Bill Murray completely improvised that speech at the end of the film.
And I would agree with Hazel Eyes here. Yes, Trading Places. I don't think of Trading Places as a holiday movie, but let me tell you something. Dan Aykroyd, dressed up as Santa Claus, sitting on a bus with the whole side of salmon in his Santa suit, eating it through the beer, is one of the absolute funniest things that I've ever seen in a movie like that. And it's always funny. Every time I've seen it, it is funny. So I will give you that. Trading Places is one of the best.
Oh,
and I do love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, it was a dream. I dreamt the whole thing.
There was this terrible.
It was just a dream.
There was this terrible Negro.
I had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me. I lost my girlfriend, my job, and it was all because of this one horrible Negro.
That movie was so funny.
They used us as guinea pigs, man.
No, I know. So it's like Rachel and I have been doing like.
They need a bet.
But Rachel and I have been doing looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We've been doing that.
$1. $1. Fine, if that's
that movie is so funny.
Yes, it's a great film. And you mentioned Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the best Thanksgiving movie. That is the best Thanksgiving movie.
It's bad. It's bad, Claire. Bad. Okay? Nothing good comes from that. It's bad. Don't go there.
You don't want that shit. Definitely not.
Is it good or bad? Bad.
Bad. Just don't. You don't want it. So, but you know what? Maybe in Europe, it might actually be better.
So. No, Peter, it's not. It's not better anywhere. It's just not. It's processed shit. It's not even real food. No, it's not. In fact, in Europe, it's worse because they have better options.
Well, as Nika points out, it is the shits. No problem.
It's so gross.
Smash that like button, share, subscribe.
Do we have any other real things to talk about tonight?
No, that's why I'm winding it down. Oh, well, you see, this is why we talk about these things. So that way, before we go, we get ourselves a nice holiday present.
From little Mohi.
From Saeed, gifting 50 Revolutionary Change memberships.
Oh, it's not from Saeed. It's from Mohi.
Mohi, yes.
Thank
you very much, Saeed. We really appreciate your incredible support for our channel. And Iranian Kiddo with the $4.99. There is a color version of A Wonderful Life, Jen.
I might have to watch it now. I mean, look, I know the premise of it. I know the story of it. It's basically Christmas Carol. I get it.
Wait, I don't have your money here. It's
right. Like I get the premise of the concept of that whole thing. I get it. And the whole world comes together for Christmas, for commercial commodities exchange.
If there's one actor I think we can all universally agree on, at least we should be able to, is John Candy. And a person that is still revered to this day, over 30 years after he died. And whenever I see him, I'm happy. And if you haven't seen the documentary, I Like Me, about John Candy, I believe it's on either Netflix or Amazon Prime, I think. I would 100% recommend it.
I do love Tootsie. I love that movie. I've seen it a bazillion times. I saw it in the theater and I've seen it a bazillion times since. So yes, I do love that movie. I love Gina Davis in that movie. God, she was so smoking in that movie. Like that was just, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Well, don't forget Billy was also pretty great in it too. Thank you very much for sticking with us tonight. We decided to have a little fun at the end. And we'll conclude on this note. John Candy did it as a favor for John Hughes. He basically took no money, but he was Gus Polinski, Polka King of the Midwest, the Kenosha Kickers, polka, 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 polka. And that entire, again, this is why improv is the best form of comedy. The entire conversation that Candy had with one of his best friends, Catherine O'Hara, when they're driving back in the budget truck to Chicago, The entire funeral parlor story, he made that up on the spot. And that just goes to show you what an absolutely incredible guy he was, and incredibly funny. And we miss him very, very much. Hope you're all doing well.
I knew this, that Gina Davis is a genius.
It's like Mensa type.
Yeah. And she also did Olympic archery.
Hey, let's get her and Susan Sarandon on the podcast.
I'd love to get Susan Sarandon on the podcast. You know that.
Talk
I am
about
very proud to say she was a campaign donor to me, but other than that, I don't have any connection.
We'll figure it out sometime. We're getting big. When we get big enough, they'll come to us, right? If you build it, they will come. That's how it works.
What I'm trying to do in North Georgia, because at the end of the day, and I've said this before, what we're doing here is going to need to happen in the real world. It is. It's going to need to happen in the real world, because eventually we're not going to have the platforms in the space that we have, because the powers that be are going to shut that shit down.
Iranian kiddo with the $4.99. Just watched Thelma and Louise, 1991. Speaking of Gina Davis.
Friggin' great movie.
Gina Davis was great, but to be honest, Susan Sarandon should have won the Best Actress Oscar for that film. But when you have the two leading actresses going head to head, and that's not to say that Jodie Foster was not Oscar
That's not
worthy.
why, because
Silence
Susan Sarandon was best in what she won it for, which was Dead Man Walking.
Oh yeah, well, of course.
And that was, meanwhile, Jason and Graham went 2 nights ago to go see Rocky Horror at midnight at the Gateway. And they did the whole thing and everything. I'm like, I hadn't been in years. Well, apparently she doesn't like that movie.
No, she doesn't. But again, it's
damn it, Janet.
Yeah. Oh, darling, no one has to know. I mean, Tim Curry was a
brilliant.
Let me tell you, of all the scenes that I thought were, that's the scene that made me laugh the hardest was when he slipped into bed with Barry Bostwick. What are you doing in here? I am not into men. Oh, but darling, no one has to know. It's like, and then Bostwick, ever so slightly, it's like, no, you won't tell.
I agree. Lorenzo's Oil is one of the saddest movies ever. That movie is unwatchable to me because of that. It's too much. It's too much. That movie was harsh before I had kids, and now the thought of it just I can't watch shit like that.
Some movies are simply tough to watch.
Just I can't.
Well, I guess that's why fantasy is sometimes better.
I do recommend Rental Family. I think I told you that. It was really good.
Rental Family?
It's playing right now, Rental Family. It's Brendan Fraser. And it's a Japanese movie. I mean, it's in English, but there is subtitles when they do talk Japanese. But
it is actually incredible how much RoboCop is a great predictor of where we are today. Now, if you haven't seen that movie,
what movie?
RoboCop, the original.
Yeah,
RoboCop.
I never saw it. And here's the thing. I don't know. And I don't care to. I don't want to. I don't care to. It is so not something I care to watch. Now, I could probably write a dissertation on The Godfather. But no, I have not seen RoboCop.
Well, if you're going to write a dissertation on The Godfather.
I was raised on The Godfather.
Well,
all parts of The Godfather. Godfather 1, Godfather 2. Godfather 1 and 2 intermeshed in complete chronological order on Betamax, by the way, without commercial interruption. I've seen it all.
Well, I'm very proud of you. Maybe we could talk about it sometime.
And my father is like a Godfather aficionado. His ringtone is the soundtrack from The Godfather. So I'm just saying I was raised with The Godfather.
Well, it almost sounds like your father's a very important man.
He grew up, he knows a lot about organized crime. That's always been his one of his little hobbies of studying.
We don't talk about organized crime. We talk about this thing of ours. That's it. It's harmless vices for the people. That's it.
So
they don't get into the drugs. That's where it all started to go badly too.
Drugs was a dirty business.
Yep.
Don't do drugs.
Smash that like button, share, subscribe, do all those things we ask you to do. We love you all. We appreciate you all. I will see you Saturday night, and
Free Palestine.
Good night, guys.